You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Ahlin, the co-author of the books Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors and The Best Known Roofer. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the leading digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I sit down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Please don't subscribe. Don't follow us. Don't do any of that. Just kidding. If you want, please, do that. Why not, right? Why not? We could do that. Yeah. Today, we're going to be talking with Dani, the roof influencer. How are you doing today,
everyone.
Dani?
I'm
Dani
doing
Herrera.
fantastico.
Yes. Yeah, awesome. So, I just wanted to let's talk about how you got into roofing.
Started? Well, that's an awesome story, right? So, I started in the plumbing industry, actually being an assistant of a plumber, doing project management for a plumber, and then I ended up going to sales. With that being said, actually, I started selling more and more sales to this plumber. But the plumber was like, "Dani, it's a lot of supply, not enough demand, right?" He's like, "I can't pay you more, and you are awesome. You're an awesome girl, an awesome employee. So you need to fly." So I said, "Okay, so let me look for something." Then the boyfriend of a friend of mine told me, she's like, "Hey, don't you want to go and door knock with my boyfriend? My boyfriend has a roofing company. You just have to get them to say yes to the inspection, and then that's it." I was like, "Man, and how much do you pay?" "Well, $150 per, contract that you sign." I was like, "Okay, well, let me do it." I was like, "Damn, okay, whatever, I need money." So I just go ahead and went there. So anyhow, then another company saw me when I started uploading things to social media. A female-owned company saw me, and she's like, "Hey, have you signed any NDA, any non-compete, anything like that?" I said, "Mm-mm." She said, "Come to me. Let me tell you how this game is." I'm like, "Okay, well, how much percentage they're paying you, or how much they're paying you?" And I told her $150 per contract. She's like, "Mm-mm, I'll give you more. I'll give you 35% of the profit, if you get them, and I teach you the game, and, so on and so forth, the insurance and everything." And I was like, well, it sounds better, right? I have a little girl, so, I'm the head household of the family, so I need to get this money. So I'm like, perfect, I'm on it. She's like, "Okay, well, here, let me show you." So she started showing me there, she started showing me here. It took me like 3 months to get my first house. 3 months. Like 3 months. And it was because it was my stepdad. And he saw me, how desperate. And also a family member of my son, which is the grandma. So she also told me, like, "Hey, go ahead and do an insurance claim on my house. I need a new roof." So my family helped me out. Then actually when I started there, well, obviously everyone, right, go door knock, and they're like, "Okay, dollar signs to the customer, to the clients, right? The homeowners are dollar signs for us." When you're starting, but then you start noticing that you are the help. You are actually, they need your service. You actually, you're actually solving a problem that they need, and you're going to help them out, basically with little money compared to what the insurance pays. So when I changed that mindset, that quick little mindset change, it got me like, hold up, wait a minute. They're not helping me. I'm helping them. I climb the roof, I do the inspection, I do the claim, so I'm helping them. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just door knock with that mindset. That's all I need for me to be able to get better deals, more deal, apartment complexes, things like that, bigger things, metal, TPO. So it was that little change of mindset that kind of got me way more motivated. And I'm like, wait, it took me 3 months, but I was the first one in the whole entire company to actually get a deal of an apartment complexes paid by the insurance, because the company started like 4 months before I started with them. So with that being said, I was like, wow. Then I started to see the public adjusting side of it, right? Like, oh, they don't want to approve me. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is wrong. There's something odd here. So then continuing with that, I kind of was like, well, let me try this public adjusting thing. So I started marketing myself as, hey, public adjuster, you're not able to climb the roof. You're not taking pictures for the inspection. I can do that for you if you give me a percentage of the sale. Why not? Then they're like, okay, perfect. So I work with a few. I stopped doing that because then it takes a long time. But if they need me, I'm here for them. It doesn't matter. So then I kind of went to that route. And then after I went to that route, somebody saw me in a company and told me, hey, Dani, I see that you're really rocking it out there. And I see that you're really good when it comes to managing the crew. Would you like to work for us as a field supervisor? I said, why not? Yes. So then from there, that's when I started getting into PM more and more and more project management. And I saw really a necessity of a middleman between the labor crew and the business owners, right? So, and that's the difference. Like you have to be a middleman for them, and you have to always also be their voice, but you have to always kind of be in the middle, not to be too rough to them or not to be too nice to them and they don't do the job, but also tell your boss or whoever you work for or your own, if you're a business owner, make sure that they're doing the right thing. And then I started liking it more and more and more. So now I eventually manage like 45 neighborhoods with pretty much like 15 crews. So I do that for a living and I enjoy a lot what I do. Like I really enjoy it. So this is just something that I started to, think about it. I started to think about how can you become a really good project management and how can you help business owner to be able to have success in that part of the labor, right? Because most of them, they actually subcontract. And they don't care. Like the guys go do the labor, that's it. Yeah, we don't care about you. We just care about the money. That's all. But then when I start seeing that and I start seeing how it affects the business as a whole, I'm like, has to be a change. Needs to be somebody that will speak out for those people that don't know English, but they want to grow and they want to be treated right. And they want to be successful, just like you, business owner. They just want to be successful in the other part of it, right? So then I came with, what we talked about, right? The 5 tips. So that's how I started, and that's how my story. And so now I'm doing this. I'm doing project management. Yeah.
Yeah. So you started in project management, but why the trades? Like, why'd you plumbing was first, right? What? Was it just an opportunity that presented itself and then it just kept going that way? Or was it a conscious thing? Like, I'm going to go this route. How did that happen for you?
What happened? Ooh, okay. So that goes deeper into my story. Okay.
Yeah.
I was married with my second husband, and my second husband unfortunately had a cardiac arrest, and he basically was in a bed. I was a journalist when I was married to him. I was a journalist for Mundo Hispánico, which is a digital newspaper, Hispanic newspaper. And I was just in my peak. And life just kind of threw me out there and just kind of lost my job, lost my dream, lost everything. Just stay there with him for like a year, trying to get him to, come back to his senses because he's alive, but he can't talk, he can walk. So, and so with that being said, there was a family member that was doing plumbing. So that family member got me into with this business owner that it was a plumber. And he started training me. And I started liking it. And I was on the field, and I didn't realize how much I liked the field. I like to interact with people. I like to connect with people. I like to help. I like to talk. So if I was a journalist, you might as well know that I love to talk. So that's how I started. It was just life put me there. It wasn't because I decided. It was just life threw me out there and I had to take it.
It's crazy how like you in life, just things like that in life, you'll never be able to predict your future.
Exactly.
Right? Like things happen, health issues come up with, for you as your husband. Like there's so many things that can come up that can just push your path in a whole different direction, all at the same time. But you have in that time of, it seems like, you still have to be utilizing, in my mind, because I see you all over on social media, you're still using your journalist skill set,
Yes.
right? Is that, you're right?
Yes.
Right.
Of
So you
course
got to.
I haven't finished.
Yeah. And that's what's fun about it. Yeah. What's fun about it to me is that you never know along the way on your path, these things that, the skill sets that you build at in a certain period of your life, like they end up being a bigger part of something else in the future. You're like, oh, that I need, like it all, and the dots start to connect. You're probably not old enough for the dots to connect like I am, but the dots are connecting for me. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And then to that point, I've been thinking lately, or not to that point, but about what you were saying. I've been thinking lately a lot. And I work, I'm a marketing coach in Adam Bensman's Pitch Pro movement. I work with Adam Bensman personally. I work with Deshaun Bryant. I wouldn't say I work with, but there's a lot of great sales trainers out there, Chuck Toki and all these guys. Lots of great sales trainers. Lots of great resources for contractors, even in the business side of things, in developing their finances and in their operations and other things. But there's not a lot of. It doesn't seem like there's a lot out there, and there may be some programs that help to provide this, but it doesn't. Like the production side of things is where I don't see a lot. Like I do see a lot, like National Claims Institute, Matthew Mulholland, like with some amazing trainings on determining damage and on the technical aspects of roofing. But a lot of that work, like you're saying, that's all. Most contractors are subcontracting, right? So they're not. You have to know it, but you don't have to know it, right? Like there's a level to it. But there's an important role in a contractor in a business, especially like I look at kind of startup through scaling into sustainable as a path of a roofing business. And in that startup phase, the owner's doing everything. They're the salesman, salesperson. They're the project manager. They're the accountant. And then as the business grows, they're able to replace themselves in those roles. And depending on the personality of the owner, it's either you replace yourself in sales because you're really strong on the production side and the operations and management side, or you replace, or you continue to sell and you find someone to fill in on that production side, on the project management side. And so you started as a project manager in the plumbing industry, and then got brought in for the dream of the commission in the roofing industry.
Exactly. Everyone does that.
Everyone does, right? And then, which is there. The opportunity is so amazing in the roofing industry. But then you got brought. Then it sounds like. This is a natural thing to you. Project management, things like that. It's more it's your style, right? It's your personality. And so, not that you can't go door to door and sell, but this is another aspect of it. And I love that you found a passion in it too, because there's a gap, right? This is something that a lot of owners need to know. And that's what we wanted to talk about today, is really how to be a successful project manager, or, you know, from an owner's perspective, how to have a successful project manager. And so you've put together some insights around that. Let's talk about the first insight, or the first step to doing that. And you told me that, you know, that's really being a leader and not a boss. So let's expand on that a little bit.
So when it comes to, well, obviously nobody likes to be told what to do, right? Nobody likes to be told, like, it's just human. It's just in us, right? We don't even like when mama tells us, hey, go take the trash out. Like, nobody. Yeah. So what makes you think that you as a boss, you're going to go and tell somebody that you subcontract majority of the times, or your employee, go do this, you know, go do that, without leading, without giving the example? You know, you have to lead. You have to be the example. First of all, when you walk into somebody, it doesn't matter if you're subcontracting or if they're your employees. You always say, hello, how are you? It's manners, right? With that little thing, you differentiate yourself from being a boss, because boss is just bossing around, to become a leader, to become somebody that they will look up to become somebody that they like you, and they're like, hey, I want to be like that person, or I want to work for them for the rest of my life, because they're leaders. They will help me out in the long run, right? So when I said leader, it's just, you know, always doing the thing. No, it's not. It's more getting involved also with your crew, right? I know that there has to be one person that manages all the crews. So that one person, you have to always lead. You have to always be in contact. You have to always show them, right, that, hey, you know, I'm here to lead you to the better picture, to the bigger picture. I'm not here to boss you around, you know. And when you ask them, right, for example, you know, their OSHA is always everywhere. Exactly. But like, this is one thing that happened to me. I was in a project, OSHA came, and they're like, hey, Dani, we need you right now, right here, because we're not able to let your crew continue without the right equipment. They were, obviously, most of them do that, so it's just up to you to catch these things. So instead of they using the anchors, they were using the rope and roping in the beams, right? Instead of actually using the right equipment. So OSHA got there, saw me. I'm like, well, this is my first kind of messed up, you know, and they were trying to figure it out. Who's the one that's supposed to give the what, to who? Well, these are subcontractors. Yeah, they are, but they're still under your, you know, your radar. So I told the guy, I said, hey, listen, what is it that they need for them to continue working? And he said, anchors, the right equipment. I said, well, they have harness, and they were, no, that's not the right way to do it. I said, okay, would you give me 15 minutes to go to Home Depot and get that for them? I know it's not my responsibility, but I am leading them to do the same thing in the next project, in the next project, and then the next project. So if they call me back and tell me they're not using the right equipment and it's the same crew, oh, they're getting a fine, right? Because I already leaked them. I already told them where to get them. I gave them the receipt. I told them how to do it. I even record them doing it. So it takes 15, 20 minutes of your time. But this crew, let me tell you, I sometimes show up out of the blue with the crews. And this crew has everything from head to toes, from side to side, what they need to be able to be OSHA approved by leading with the example, but not just telling them, because it was their responsibility. Now, when we come to business owner, yes, it is the responsibility of the subcontractor to go and buy a fall protection, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm not paying for it, because they're not my employees. However, if you lead with the example and go out of your day and come back and help them out, they're going to be thankful for you for the rest of your life. And they're going to do such a beautiful job to your clients that you're not even going to have to babysit them no more, because you already showed them by the example what they needed to do.
Yeah,
So
and they're
for me,
relying on you. They are relying on you for their income. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people, it's your income, but it's their income too. So by helping, right, help everyone get paid, right? If you help everyone get paid,
exactly.
it shows them that you care, right? And what you were saying is, in being a good leader, to kind of summarize it, I mean, to be very simple about it, it's someone that is willing to or able to be followed. So they want to work with you. They want to do more for you. My wife is in the flooring business, and she does all the scheduling and managing of the crews and things like that. So project management, I guess you would say, on the flooring side. And some of her sales reps will come out pop up with something like, hey, they don't, we need to move this job around, and this needs to be changed and that needs to be changed. So just take the job away from that crew for now. And my wife is always like, well, yeah, but that means they don't have work for that day because it's too late to schedule something in that place or something like that, right? So she's always trying to take care of and be conscious of how to help her crews get paid, right? And in that, like you're saying, hey, they're not OSHA compliant. I'm going to help them get paid today. I'm going to do what it takes to help them get paid. So really being a leader, you're taking care of your people is one of the ways that you can be a leader, right?
Yes.
Other things that we were talking about is, in the way that you interact with your people, right? With your people, with your crews, with your employees, whether they're subs or employees, it doesn't really matter if it's salespeople or if it's your crews or whoever it is. But another tip that you had was just use magic words.
What does that mean? I don't know if you guys grew up with Barney, the dinosaur, the purple dinosaur, but I did. So that's why I put it like use magic words. Why? Please and thank you. Those are the magic words. Like I said, it goes back to nobody wants to be told what to do in a rude way. They like to they like to feel like, or every human being like to feel like superheroes, right? So if you actually tell the crew, the leader of the crew, whoever it is, your employee, your sales rep, hey, Danny, that's a great example, or hey, Jim, I'm going to need your superpowers. I'm going to need something from you. And would you please do me the favor of calling this client? Would you please do me the favor of installing this kickout? And would you please make sure that all the houses that I have in this neighborhood have kickouts wherever they need it? Or a metal pen, or flashing, put it the right way, or no cricket shingles, please, and thank you. Can you please send me a picture when you're done? And I appreciate you so much. That's going to make you a difference. Just instead of, hey, I need and I got builders telling me this. Hey, I need this done today. I got lot 65, need it done today. There's no drippage. Hi, Mr. Builder. How are you doing this morning? Is everything okay? How was your vacations? Did you even went on vacations? I changed the subject right away. But yeah, and I'm going to take care of lot 64 for you right away. We're backing up on work. Tech has been going through things or whatever the case may be. But hey, man, give me 48 hours and you will have the cacao, you'll have the flushing, you'll have whatever you need. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for having us roofing your neighborhoods. We'll be there shortly. I will follow up with you. And when it comes to, obviously, your cruise, hola, you don't speak English. You don't have to speak Espanol. You don't speak Espanol. You don't have to speak Espanol to have manners, to be kind to people. With the smile, we have this, what we call, right? The smile. Say hi, hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Hey, can you come here for a minute, please? And then we'll go. They're like, oh my God, the boss is calling me, right? So I have to go. Can you please make sure that drippage is put on correctly? Because you know why? The fascia is going to go between the 2x6s that are there, and you have to leave a gap there. This is for new construction, but I'm just putting it as an example. You have to leave a gap there of 1.5 inches. So the hardy plank can go in there, and they won't damage the drippage, and you don't have to come back and install a new one. Can you please make sure of that, please? Yeah. Well, most of my friends and coworkers said, well, for you it's easy because you're a girl. No, it's the same for everybody. I teach the same thing for everybody. It doesn't mean that it has to be even harder for me, for them to even pay attention to me. Because what is a female doing in roofing? This is a men's industry. What are you doing here? You don't know nothing. You have no clue of what you're talking about. You don't even know what fascia is, what drippage is. How did you got this job? They come to me and tell my coworkers that it's easier for me because I'm a female. And I'm like, no, if you really think about it, it's harder for females to be in this industry. Why? Because they think we don't know. Because they see us as weak. Because they see us as, why she think she has to go and cook? And that's the Latino community on us, right? So I have to show both sides of the story. This one and this one that we know.
Yeah.
And we're smart enough to let you know what we need. And if you don't do it, then we're smart enough to backcharge you and tell you, hey, you have to go back again. Please. Even when you're mad, don't let your emotions take over and be rude to people. And just use the magic words. Even if you're like, oh my God, but I told this guy like 20 times to do this. Just continue using the magic words. It's going to take you further in life. This is coming from me. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. I have twin 7-year-old boys, and it's I don't think that I realized politeness until I had children. And then you're teaching them to be polite, right? And I know that has made me more polite, and I'm sure my wife will tell you that I could be even more polite at times. But that's it. Like it's amazing what a please and thank you. And so my boys are really good at it, right? And so if we're at a restaurant or something, they order their food and with pleases and thank yous, and it's always it always the wait staff is always like I don't know, tickled by it. They're like, oh, that's like they're so polite. Cute. Like it's such it's so cute. They're so polite. It's so nice. Like and in that you're like, oh wow, I see that. Like it changes the way that people interact. Like it's a weird thing when you do that. And so it's hard I think it's hard sometimes, but I get it. Like what you're saying, it changes the mood of the conversation.
Exactly.
If you want to put it that way, what you said with the builder is like, hey, this, and this, da, 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 da. And you're like, and you just change the mood of it. Like, okay, yep, we'll make sure to get this, and that done. And it changes that tension that sometimes builds up.
It goes to another direction. Now they're thinking, oh wow, wait a minute, I was really rude. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, hi. I'm good. Yes. So they go and then let's say this, whatever you make people feel, that's how they're going to remember you. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So how are you going to be remembered? By
Yes.
being polite, or by being that boss, or that supervisor that is not that nice, and they ended up, it's going to end up harming you because they actually do it on purpose. Like if they damage things, they really don't care. They get paid, that's it, and they don't care. But if you show them a little bit of manners and politeness, they're going to be like, no, you have to do this right. And they will even send them back to do it right with them not even telling you anything. They will call you to ask you for work. And that's what you want. You want people to call you, labor people to call you, not you being as a business owner. Hey, man, can you please let me borrow one of your crews because you know what? The last crew. Why are you going through a lot of crews? That's a red flag. That's a big red flag. It has to be something odd. Right?
And in being a project manager, and this is kind of funny that we're talking about this because earlier today we have we in our marketing agency we run what's called the EOS system, Entrepreneurial Operating System, and there we have what are called level 10 meetings every week, and with our departments, and we were on with our account management team and project management team, and in those level 10 meetings, for people that are running this and listening, they'll understand what's going on here. But in these level 10 meetings, we make a list of issues to go through and try to create tasks to solve those issues, right? Solve the problems. And one of our newer onboarding specialists, which is a project management style role in our company, it's like, hey, do you have any issues that you want to bring up? I don't see anything on the sheet from you, but do you have any issues that you want to bring up? And she was like, no, my job is to deal with issues.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, right? Like your job is, she was like, my job is to deal with issues. Like, so I have issues. That's my job is all to have issues. Like all of the issues come to me. And that was another part of your of what your points were, is that you have to remember that you're always a problem solver.
Amen to that. Yes, you are. You are.
So speak to that a little bit.
So, this is when it gets intense. I don't know. I like adrenaline. And this is the fun part of my job. Just like she did, she's like, well, I deal with issues all the time. We do too. All the time. If it's not because we're missing material, it's because the drying didn't got there. It's because we're short on material. It's because, hey, somebody didn't listen for them to actually, put the harness and hat, and he kind of fell and something happened. Because that took you every day. Your job is become a problem solver every day. Meaning if somebody calls you, a homeowner, hey, guess what? This is for re-roof. That happened to me. Hey, Miss Dani, I'm trying to get to my job. But listen, you parked the dumpster in front of the garage. Excuse me? Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, so give me 1 second. Calling everybody. Hey, can you go back and put the dumpster next to it? No. Okay, well, we couldn't because they had other things to do. But I'm like, ma'am, do you mind if I pick you up, drop you off at your job, and then bring you back home? Because it's going to be really difficult for me to actually get that dumpster out at this time. Oh, no, Dani, no problem. I'll take an Uber. And you're like, but no. It's just the fact of the communication as well. When they have a problem and you're trying to solve it, that the human being needs to see you solving it, you're trying hard to solve it. I mean, there's nothing wrong or good or bad about it, right? Like, it's just, you're making it happen. And they see you as, hey, you're working on it. You're constantly working on it. Let's give her a break. Let's make it easy on her because she's also, solving that problem. So this is what happened to me, like I said. Then, and for new construction, will be like, hey, Dani, like the OSHA, the person that happened, with OSHA, like the story that I said, hey, they don't have anchors, they don't have nothing, they just have to. Then you solve the problem. You go and get them, right? That's what they're paying you for. Hey, Dani, listen, we have this house ready to be dry in, but it's going to rain today, but we have it for tomorrow. Is there any way that your crew can come dry it in right now at 2 p.m.? Okay, hold on. And you started making those phone calls and arrangements and everything, and you make it happen for them. And you know what they tell me when they call me? Hey, can you make some magic happen for me, Dani, please? So now they already know it's magic, right? Because I have to, and if I can, they understand. But as long as you're trying to solve the problem and you are a problem solver and you like challenges, that's going to take you further in project management. Definitely. If you like challenges and go on and just make it happen, that is one of the main things that I believe that project management need to know. They're problem solvers, and if you like challenges, this is the right fit for you. If you don't, go and door knock. Because it's not easy.
It's a person. It takes a special person, but it also takes a mindset, right? That's what I'm hearing also. Like there's a mindset for door to door, right? Yeah. Like you have to have the mindset of you are going to get the door slammed in your face. You are going to get a lot of no's. Like you have to have that mindset, right? When you're out there knocking on for a project manager, you almost have to have a mindset of cool, another problem to solve, right? Like you have to just like, awesome, I got another no. Like just having that mindset of I got another no. Closer to a yes, closer to a yes, right? You have to have that mind. It's a mindset shift to awesome. I have another problem to solve.
I have another problem. Let me just go ahead and fix this.
To some people, that's going to overwhelm them, right? So that person, like you're saying, maybe it's not the right fit for you in that role. But when you're looking for, as an owner of a company too, when you're hiring for a PM role, those are the types of things that you want to find out about that person, is to know how do they enjoy the problem solving, right? Will they thrive in the problem solving?
And I believe that you as a business owner, you should ask when you're hiring a PM 3 main questions. 3. That's it. And if they say no to that, that means that they're not gonna be good. Do you like people? The other one will be, do you like challenges? If they say, no, I don't like to deal with people, then that's not good for you,
They're not.
Do you like the challenges? And do you like to solve problems, right? But challenges and solving problems, those are 2 different type of things as well. Because there's a challenge that has to be overcome with time, right? But then the problem solver, it has to be right now. So, and you have to have connections. I know Espanol, but if I didn't have Espanol, I would have definitely married somebody with a Spanish background that will have, an interpreter and said, hey, or hire a secretary that knows Espanol, right? And then be like, hey, I'm going to pay you extra for your time for translating me. But if your phone rings, it's because I need you to translate me something. I need you to please translate this to him or to her or whoever the case may be. So I have this scale of knowing Spanish, but people that don't know Spanish and they're business owners, I do recommend you to have a bilingual person in your office that you can trust. Office.
Yeah, that's a great tip, because then just to bridge the gap, someone to bridge the gap, that's definitely a good thing. And it might not have to be the project manager like you're saying, but just someone on the team that's bilingual is very, very helpful in keeping things moving and making sure the communication is is clear and concise. So another thing, kind of in line with that with the crews is you told me too is, man, get dirty, right?
Yeah, get dirty with them.
Get down with them. Go out there, when if they need help.
Yes, exactly. It's like, let's put it this way. Do you like to see somebody, unless you're full, but let's say you're really hungry, right? And you're seeing somebody eating this good meal in front of you, right? And then you're just so hungry and you're like, really? Is this guy really, or this girl really eating in front of me and not sharing, not even a little bit of it? It's the same feeling that they have when they see somebody inside their truck in their AC and they're struggling over there. Okay? It's the same feeling of they're in 105 degrees or 100 degrees and they just see you just chilling like this, in your AC and just on the phone doing TikToks or talking or FaceTiming or whatever. And they're over there like, trying to hurry up. And this is more for re-roof because, we do it in one day. Maybe it will take two, but usually it takes one day. And they see their sales rep and they see him or her just chilling at the car. I believe that that's rude. And I think that if you don't like to help out and get dirty and get some gloves and just pick up trash and they see you doing that, hey, do you need water? Do you need ice? Would you like something to eat? What do you guys need for this to be smooth? No, it's okay. Even if though they tell you it's okay, they have to see you at least door knocking, doing something. Hey, I'm taking pictures for you guys. What material do you need? Are we good with material? No. Okay, well, if you want to be chilling on your truck, and that's okay. If you want to, just get out of there. Get out of their sight. If you're not going to get down with them and dirty with them. Yeah. Because it feels horrible. Trust me. It's like you seeing somebody eating when you're hungry and that person doesn't even give you one fry. It's the same thing. It doesn't feel good. So I do recommend that. And once you get dirty with them, they're going to see like, oh, she's cool or he's cool, man. Like he really got her back. So we can trust him or her. And then when they mess up something, they come back to you and they're like, hey, I think this drip pitch is not going to go well because it has a bigger gap. You brought me a 2-inch drip pitch and we need a 5-inch drip pitch, let's say. Or this flashing, if I put it like this, it's going to leak. So they're going to come to you and tell you what the problem is going to be in the long run instead of you trying to figure it out later on because you have a warranty or a homeowner pissed at you telling you. So if they see you that you're busy, they're going to have more consideration of you instead of seeing somebody in their AC when they're working. So that's just something that I really want to let you guys know that's going to make you way better project management.
And that, it kind of goes into, things that make a good leader also, right?
Yes.
That's part of, those are things that make a good leader, or someone that's willing to jump in and get things done with the team. The last big point you made was when we were talking the other day was to have a ritual. Speak to that a little bit.
Have a ritual. Well, and this came from re-roof. It could be really early, right? There's some sales reps that like to be there before the material arrives. There's some sales reps like me that I had to go and drop my kid off and then go back and then, but I will be until the end of the project. Now with new construction, my ritual is different. But before, at the end of the job, what I will do is I will gather them together and I will tell them, hey, drop everything that you have. And they will be like, what is this crazy lady talking about? I said, I need your hands free and I need you to come look at me. And they will look at me like, weirdo, and I said, hey guys, I want to thank you for doing this amazing job. This job was perfectly fine with me. Like everything came out super smooth, super good. But I want to let you guys know that without you guys, we're nothing. We can sell a lot, but nobody's going to do the work. However, if we don't sell, you guys don't have work, right? So let's give a round of applause to all of us because we make this happen. We feed more families. We got more work, and I started applauding, and the energy, they start smiling and they're like, oh my God, I did such a great job. Like, I thought I was just coming here to work. I didn't know it was magic. I didn't know it was this amazing, and when you do that, or at the beginning of the project, if you stretch with them, this is OSHA requirement sometimes. Like if you give them a banana, let's say you want, and you give them a banana for, oh my gosh, when the muscles kind of tie down, and it happens a lot to them because they're always bending down. So they have cramps. Cramps, is that what you say?
Cramps, yeah.
That's how you pronounce it? Yeah, cramps. So, let's say you want to do it at the beginning so that you stretch with them, and then, hey, let's start this good day. It's just your ritual. Or let's say you bring them lunch every single time and you eat with them. That's another ritual. Let's say you bring them candy. Let's say if it's too hot, you bring lollipops, right? Like popsicles, right? So they can refresh themselves. You bring them ice. You have some type of ritual. It's up to you. Everybody's different. Mine, it's at the end. And at the end, I tell them how great they did it. Now that I am in new construction, I usually text them, or the next time I see them, I give them a gift card or something like that, because I'm not able to stay long like I used to when I used to do re-roof. So with that being said, that's how I do it. And if you have a ritual of seeing your labor guys all the time and they see you all the time and encourage them, that's going to take you further because they're like, oh, okay, well, she comes right now to give a round of applause to all of us. And I started doing that the first time I have a big sale, which is an apartment complex. And I'm like, hey, I think they're just come here to work and it's kind of like not fun. Let me just start something. And I did it. And that's how I started. I haven't ended. And it's just the same to me. And it changes. It changes a lot. Like I said, it's up to you. What do you want to do? But have a ritual.
It's really important to do things like that. And I think that, all of the things that you're talking about in being a successful project manager, I think not only will help you run jobs better and more efficiently, but also will, like you're saying, of being a leader and building those relationships with the crews will do a better job for you. What you had meant when we were earlier in the conversation, you were talking about like you were calling over one of the people in the crew, and the crew was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to the boss." Right? There's a thing there, right? There's a thing there about the boss. And maybe speak to that from the crew's perspectives. Explain what they're looking at in terms of the companies that they're working for, when they're subs or even as employees. But, is there a cultural aspect to that a little bit?
Yes, it is. It is. So the boss is who pays to them. So that's not you. It doesn't, they don't know. So the boss is who pays. Who pays? The crew leader, because you subcontract the crew leader, right? So who they have to listen to? The crew leader, not you. But if the crew leader listens to you, that's it. That's all that matters to them. Oh, the boss listens to her. Oh, okay. So she has to be somebody, but they don't know who you are, and when it comes to re-roof, I always tell them, just let them know I'm the sales rep and I'm the project manager, right? But who's the crew leader? I always refer who's a crew leader, like who's a crew leader, you know, and I tell them sometimes who's el jefe. El jefe means the boss, you know, and they're like, oh, that's over there, but can you answer this question? And they're like, maybe, you know, and so I make them more important, you know, because I'm not really communicating with a crew leader no more. I'm communicating with just an employee. However, you know, they feel different when you ask them that question, who's el jefe? Oh, who's in charge? And they point over there. But for them, for the labor, for the cultural thing, who is the boss is the one who pays, who gives them the paycheck. And that's not you. So they're never going to see you as a boss. They will just see you as, I don't know who that is. They don't understand the process. They just know they have to go and install shingles. That's all they know. And that's all they do.
That's right.
So when you put that in change and you use this 5 tips that I'm giving you, everything is going to change. And everybody's going to feel like they're a team. They belong with you. They're a team. So if one of them mess up, everybody mess up. And that's when it goes pretty and it starts to giving you flowers, right? Because you plant the seed on each individual. And then that seed is going to grow eventually. So to me, that's and just like I said, you're not the boss, is the who pays them. So to me, you have to differentiate that, and they will listen to you all the time. Trust me, all the time.
So that was a good point of if they see who they consider the boss helping you, respecting you, you know, showing, being respectful, you know, listening, you know, cooperating with all of those things, as they see that helps the relationship with the individual people on the crew, right? Like it's and that's a good thing to think of too, as a PM, you know, being as a PM or as an owner, developing relationships with the crew leaders on a deeper level, right? Because that just changes the dynamic on the whole job site. That was awesome, Dani. Thanks for your time today. Such great insights on project management, how to be a successful project management. Dani, the roof influencer on or on all social media, probably. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. If you would like to generate more revenue through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com to get a copy of the book, The Best Known Roofer. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. Thanks for listening.